I want you to make some noise for the next comic of the evening. She's very, very funny. Make some noise for Townsend Loan, Fort Worth Zone, Tara Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, thank you guys so much. Thank you. So I have some really good news tonight, everybody. My daughter is officially potty trained. Pretty excited about that. Yeah, I celebrated by drinking until I pissed myself, and I made her clean it up. My daughter's a real sweetheart. Today, during her temper tantrum, she threw her children's Bible at me. But the good news is, at least we'll get to be together in hell. My son just turned 6 recently, so we had his birthday party recently, and he actually doesn't get to have sugar or candy that much. So at his party, he said, "Mommy, can I have one extra piece of cake?" And I was like, "Sure, go for it. It's your birthday, go for it." And then later that night, he said he wasn't feeling that well. And I didn't believe him at first, because a kid telling you that they're not feeling very well is kind of like when a sorority girl says she's been roofied. It's probably a lie, but you're forced to take it seriously just in case, But it turns out he was telling the truth. He was like, "Mommy, I'm sorry, when you weren't looking, I ate 4 pieces of cake. It was just so good. I just kept eating and eating until I threw up." And I was like, "Honey, it's okay, don't apologize. That's the same way Mommy drinks her wine." I get it. My son's birthday was pretty expensive, though. The older they get, the more expensive it gets, And my daughter is only 3, so when she turned 3 this summer, it was pretty easy to get her birthday party going, because she was like, "Mommy, I want a Cinderella theme party." I was like, "Oh, okay, I can do that." So I invited all her friends over and made them clean my house. Saved me a lot of money, got my house clean. It was awesome. I'm not a really strict mom, but I do try to teach my kids lessons in life, So the other day I was like, "Kids, in life, you break it, you buy it. So basically, you both owe me a new vagina and a boob job." Pay up. A lot of people say I should get my kids involved in child modeling or acting. And I'm always like, no thanks. Like, why? You can make so much money. I'm like, yeah, but I just have to spend that on their rehab later, so I'm not really sure where the profit is. I don't really like hanging out with other moms. I don't really connect with other moms that much. Most of my friends are people who don't have kids or aren't even married yet, and they say things like, "I'm just not ready to have kids." I'm like, neither am I, but I have 2. Interesting. But I do make an effort. There was a play date recently, and I went to it, and I was like, I'm gonna try. And it was just as bad as I thought. All the moms were going around kind of talking about all their talents as parents, and they were kind of going around one by one. It was really terrible. So one mom was like, "I make all of my own eco-friendly baby wipes. We've never bought wipes at the store. We make our own." I'm like, "Oh, that's good." And then the next mom went, she was like, "I sew all of my own baby diapers and I embroider little flowers on them." I'm like, "Oh, great." And then they got to me and they're like, "Tara?" I was like, I make a mean margarita? I don't know, it's so intense. Yeah, I like drinking. I definitely like drinking. But I'll admit, I probably drink a little too much sometimes. I'll admit it. My therapist would say that, for sure. And last time I was with my therapist, she was like, "Tara, the reason you drink so much is because you're haunted by your demons. And so all you need to do is figure out what your demons are and get rid of them." But the problem with that is my demons are my in-laws, and that sounds illegal. I'm not sure how I'm going to get rid of them. My mother-in-law, she's interesting. She's super passive-aggressive. So, she was over recently, and she picked up my broom, and she was like, "I don't even know why you own one of these since you never use it." And I was like, "Oh, I thought that was your ride home." No? She's super Christian, and always quoting Bible verses and stuff. And every time, without fail, when I see her, she says the same thing. She's like, "Tara, I've been praying for you." And where I come from, that's an insult. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, you've been praying for me? I've been praying for you too, bitch. What now?" And then she prays for me more. No, I'm being mean. She's actually pretty cool. It's my father-in-law who's the problem. He's a bad guy. Yeah, he kind of sucks. His main issue is that he's kind of like racist, homophobic, and he has all these issues. So when my son was over this one time when he was really young, he was only 2.5 at the time, and he had long hair. We were kind of going through that thing as parents where we didn't want to cut his hair because it was so pretty and like awesome, and I didn't want to cut it yet, so it was a little too long. He's a baby, you know. And my father-in-law goes up to him and he's like, "If you don't get your hair cut, you're gonna get your ass beat by all the other boys, and you look like a sissy." I'm like, "He's 2. What the hell? And by the way, you don't have any hair, and everyone wants to kick your ass, so I'm not sure if hair has anything to do with it." Whenever I'm over at his house, I'm always unplugging all of his electronics. And last time I was over, he was like, "Why are you unplugging all of my electronics every time you come over?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just practicing for when you're on life support." That's all. No, but it is really tragic, you guys. It is tragic. We just found out that my father-in-law is showing the first signs of Alzheimer's. Yeah, it's very sad because now he might forget how much I hate him. So my sister-in-law is an AA sponsor. So we're 2 peas in a pod, I'm sure you can tell. So we went to a wedding together recently, all our family, and I was hanging out with her, you know, and of course I got completely hammered, you know, it's an open bar, who wouldn't? I mean, I guess she wouldn't, because she's an AA sponsor. And then the next morning I had to have breakfast with her, and all my hangover glory, at a hotel, and she was looking at me like, man, she needs to be in the program. And so she took me aside, and she was like, "Tara, I don't want to judge you. I just want to say, I don't think somebody who drinks as much as you do could truly be happy. So Tara, are you truly happy?" And I was like, "Of course I'm not. I'm married to your brother, you dumbass." Hello. You should know that if anyone. No, my husband, he's a musician, so yeah, that kind of explains why I'm screwed up, pretty much. No, he's pretty cool. We're kind of, me and my husband are kind of like the white version of Will and Jada Smith. Well, if Jada had a drinking problem and Will was bipolar. Bad example, bad example. No, but I was at my gynecologist recently, and he was really concerned about family planning. And he was like, "Tara, you need to plan. You have 2 children. We need to talk about birth control. Like, we need to get on this. So what birth control are you and your husband using?" And I said, "Nothing. But don't worry, my boyfriend and I use rubbers." So I'm just kidding. I don't have a boyfriend. I have a girlfriend. Yeah, but we've been married almost 11 years, so it's a pretty long time. And so when you've been married that long, you got to know how to spice things up in your marriage, you know? So my husband asked me last night if I could wake him up with oral. And I was like, all right, yeah, sure. So I brushed his teeth while he was sleeping this morning. I know how to please my man, you guys. I know. So I will leave you on this. Basically, you know, when you're married this long, you know, you're going to make some mistakes sometimes. And I've had this one time I screwed up a little bit, a little drunken mistake. So I had to tell my husband about it, and I confronted him, and I'm like, "Honey, listen, I cheated on you." And he got real pissed, and he threw furniture, punched a hole in the wall, and he was like, "Who is he?" I said, "It's a she." He was like, "Oh, invite her over." Okay, you guys have been so awesome. Thank you so much.